2nd and 10. Cowboys from the 50. Again, Staubach has him in the shotgun formation. Roger takes the snap, pumps it once. He's going long. Down the near sideline for Drew Pearson. Pearson makes the catch at the 5. Touchdown! Pearson goes in for the touchdown. And the Cowboys score. And Pearson throws the ball over the scoreboard.
A historic walk-off win back in 1975, but no Hail Mary necessary on Sunday. The Cowboys start fast and finish strong, handing the Vikings a 40-3 loss at home. That 37-point loss, the largest margin of victory in a road game for the Dallas Cowboys in franchise history. Haley Sutton from the Star in Frisco. This is Cowboys Flashback, and boy, do we have a lot to flash back to. Yesterday's performance was textbook complimentary football, with Dallas excelling on offense, defense, and special teams. We'll break down all of that in just a minute, but first, we hear from a much happier Mike McCarthy in the locker room after the game.
Good job, boys. Hey, I'll be short. Hey, I just want to say this, man. I'll tell you what, that's the focus, all 3 phases. I think we made a dominant zone. And we're back at it. We're up in 4 days. Yes, sir. We got to go get them Giants, okay? So enjoy this. Outstanding. We beat a damn good football team today. We beat them good. All right, JK, wrap us up.
Hey, let's enjoy this one. Get on this plane when we get back there. We right back up. Let's dominate our process now. When we get back to Thursday, we're going to do the same. Baby, hey, go. Be great on 3. 1, 2, 3. Be great.
Yes, sir.
Mike McCarthy earning his 150th regular season victory, and Dallas might as well start making themselves at home at US Bank Stadium. They've now won 5 of their last 6 against Minnesota, including 4 straight at US Bank Stadium. They also avoided a losing streak, moving to 7-1 after losing a game dating back to the start of the 2021 season. Mike McCarthy not the only one excited about the win, though. Owner and general manager Jerry Jones weighed in to share his thoughts on the victory.
It felt like a statement game. Jerry, what was the statement your team made tonight?
Well, that we knew this was a game against a contending team. This is best record, I think, in the whole NFC. But we had such respect for their team and their quarterback and their personnel, their veteran team. And so this had all the hallmarks in it. Home, this crowd is a loud, difficult place to play in. And for us to come up here and take that challenge on, take it on, flying around the ball, really accepting the responsibility of some of the skilled players they've got out there and how to play defense with them, their running game, their receiving game. I just think we watched our team grow tonight.
Jerry, you mentioned this Vikings team being one of the best in the league. How do you view this Cowboys team now? I mean, at this point, 10 games in, do you see this team as being one of the teams that's in it to contend for a championship, or how do you look at this team, what you've seen to this point?
A resounding yes. Yes. Unequivocally yes. I think we've had adversity. We very easily could have some more adversity. But if we can get in there healthy and still have games like the last 2 we just had on the road, and we've got a deal coming up here this weekend, Thanksgiving Day. These Giants are playing really good football. They're a good football team. And so, yes, I think if we use the experience of what we're having in the season, then we're going to be playoff ready. But I sure do think that what I see out here right now is the team like that you could go get a Super Bowl with.
Did someone just say Super Bowl? We'll have to wait and see how the season pans out. But Jerry Jones clearly feeling confident after this one, and with good reason. Dallas put points on the board in its first 7 drives against Minnesota, the first time the team has done that since 1978. That means we've got a lot to talk about when we return on Cowboys Flashback. The offense came alive thanks to Tony Pollard's clutch catching and Zeke's return to the lineup.
Dallas Cowboys Flashback, presented by Reliant, is brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Reliant, an NRG company. This segment is brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Coming into this one, Tony Pollard was riding the high of back-to-back 100-yard games on the ground. But that wasn't enough for the running back. No. Tony Pollard decided to pop off on Sunday, showing his versatility as a pass catcher. He had 6 catches for 109 yards and 2 receiving touchdowns to go along with 80 yards on the ground. Pollard saying his performance just a part of that Dallas 1-2 punch.
The first one, I had a swing route out the backfield. The receivers basically, they cleared it out for me. Tight end had a good block downfield, and Dak saw me at the end, and I was able to get it in. And the second one, something we've been working on all week, getting ready for this game, and, we called it at the right time, and it hit for us.
What about this week, that route you said, that confidence? Why was that particular for this game?
Just wanting to be aggressive, just take what the defense gives you, watching film, film study and things like that. So just a bunch of that.
You guys were really physical, and you relied on the run. Do you think you can learn something from this game and take it forward as you guys continue?
Definitely. I feel like we kind of found our formula. Just run the ball, pounding the defense, dominating on all phases of the game, and just trying to slow the game down and let our defense go out there and do what they do.
Pollard is now the 4th player since 1990 with at least 75 rushing yards, 100 receiving yards, and 2 touchdown catches in a single game. He joins Joey Galloway, Todd Gurley, and Pro Football Hall of Famer LaDainian Tomlinson. He's also the first Cowboy with a 4-game streak of 100 scrimmage yards since Ezekiel Elliott did it back in 2020. Oh, and speaking of Zeke, he made some noise in his return to the field as well. The running back bouncing back with 15 carries for 42 yards and 2 touchdowns.
When his offense is rolling, when we're rolling, I think it's just tough. It's tough for those defenses to stop us. 2 fresh backs at all times. It definitely puts a lot of stress on those defenses.
How'd the knee feel?
No, it felt good. It felt good. Wouldn't say I really felt it too much out there today. I kind of felt a little rusty. Probably a couple of rounds I wish I could get back, but that's just part of it. It's part of getting back in the swing of things and just keep building on that.
You've done it so many times with the quick turnaround for the Thanksgiving Day game. What do these next few days look like for you?
Honestly, this is a fun time of year for me. Who doesn't love to go out there and play and not have to practice that much? So a lot of these next 2 days is just a lot of mental work. Obviously I get our bodies back together, but we're not going to get much time to practice. I don't even know if we'll get one practice in. It might be all walkthroughs. So just locking in on the film and just doing whatever we got to do to be prepared for Thanksgiving Day.
In his 2nd straight game with 2 scores, Elliott now passes Jason Witten for 5th most overall touchdowns in team history. And it kind of feels like this team has added to its identity. Run the football and you'll see results on offense. Now, the run game, not the only bright spot for that side of the ball yesterday. You heard Jerry Jones speak highly of his quarterback, but how well did Dak actually do? We've got the numbers next on Cowboys Flashback.
This segment was brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
There were several question marks surrounding Dak Prescott's performance last week against the Packers. He threw 2 early interceptions that led to big scores for Green Bay. Well, it's incredible what a week can do. A totally different performance from the Cowboys commander-in-chief. 22 of 25 for 276 yards and 2 touchdown passes. Prescott has now thrown 151 career touchdowns, the most passing scores by a Cowboys quarterback in 7 seasons. He moves past the guy who called the game yesterday, Tony Romo, who has 118 in his first 7. So here's what Prescott had to say about the performance in Minnesota.
Please talk about tonight scoring the first 7 possessions to start the game, just the level you and the offense were playing coming into this.
Yeah, just focused. Obviously, after last week, I had a good week of prep and just wanted to come in and set the standard and the expectation that I've talked about, that we have for ourselves. And just as you said, just being able to go and get points on the first 7 drives. Honestly, was just staying in the moment as all the guys were, and honestly couldn't have told you that. And I think that's just credit to us just being dialed in and staying within each play, taking it play by play, giving our best, and resulting in points on those drives that obviously gives us a lead and allows the defense to go and hunt.
Hey, Dak, Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. You guys leaned on Ezekiel Elliott real heavily on that first offensive drive. Can you talk a bit about how you guys use him as an identity to establish running the ball, and it just kind of went off from there?
Yeah, physical runner. Obviously starts up front, just as we've talked about, getting double teams, allowing Zach, Terrence, Tyler, Connor, and Tyler to keep their shoulders square, and then Zeke and to do the rest, honestly, and to make those guys, those double teams work. And he's a physical runner, and obviously having him back, being able to set that tone early, just kind of gives us the attitude that we want and how the game's going to go. And so just being able to do that, I think defense understood what kind of game it was, and we're able to just to continue to build off of that.
Yeah, Werner, ESPN, you said this week that you thought maybe you should get out of the pocket more and bring your mobility into play. You did that, it seemed like, tonight. What kind of factor is that? And do you really think you're getting any better at getting out of bounds and sliding and protecting yourself?
Yeah, I do. And yeah, I mean, as I said, it's just about knowing that I can go get 3 or 4, just stay ahead of the chains, even getting back to the line of scrimmage. What on the first one, it's huge, just not putting us in negative situations, making it easier on the play caller, and just us as an offense, just continuing to move forward. That's better than an incompletion. So just being able to do that, I think is going to pay us big going forward.
A masterful display of play calling from Kellen Moore as well, who kept the Vikings defense on their toes. Meanwhile, Prescott now has 47 multi-touchdown passing games in his career, the 3rd most by a Dallas play caller in franchise history. But this was complimentary football, remember, and the defense made it loud and clear. They heard you, Cowboys Nation. Next on Cowboys Flashback, a clinic on how to stop the run.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
All week long, all we heard around this building was how much the run defense needed to improve in order for the Cowboys to be successful. Mike McCarthy told us the team needed to do a better job of doing their jobs, meaning the defensive line needed to key in on their assignments while properly setting the edge, so the secondary could contain the threat that is Justin Jefferson. More on that matchup in a moment, but first we got to talk about that pass rush. The Cowboys sacked Kirk Cousins 7 times on Sunday, moving their season total up to 42. And you can't talk rushing the quarterback without mentioning Micah Parsons. He finished the day with 2 sacks, his 8th multi-sack game of his career. He's now the 3rd defender in NFL history with at least 8 multi-sack performances through 26 career games. And he leads the league in 2022 with 5 of those. Just another day at the office for the Uncaged Lion.
You're talking about how it was a disgusting performance overall, and you guys were going to step up, you needed to put out the fire. What does it say about you and this defense that you did it today the way you did?
It just says that, we're capable of what we put our mind to. People want to come out and run the ball, but we got to buckle up and understand what they want to do. People want to come up and pass. We got to set the quarterback and get stops and do what we do best. So we got to be able to adjust mid-game. We got to be able to stop it, put fires out, so that way we can become the best defense. But until we continue this path and keep doing little things, we won't be great, and I think everyone wants to be great.
Mike, McCarthy just talked about a few minutes ago about how after the loss last week at Green Bay that you guys opened up to each other in the locker room. How much do you think kind of airing out frustrations, can bring you guys closer, and just the fact that you guys were able to bounce back the way you did today?
I think it's big strides, especially that means how much love's in the locker room. They actually showed something about Kobe that's like, do you want people that around you that's going to let you know when you got something in your teeth, or you going to want people around you that's not going to tell you? You want people around that say, I got something in my freaking teeth, when Kobe said that. So, we're not afraid to have them hard conversations. I'm not afraid I welcome constructive criticism. And when you have that balance of, understanding it's okay and giving that back, it turns out really good.
Micah Parsons now has 10 sacks this season and 23 in his short career, making him the first Cowboy with double-digit sacks in back-to-back seasons since his teammate DeMarcus Lawrence did it back in 2017 and 2018. The secondary also stepping up big in the win. J-Ron Curse led the team in tackles while also getting a sack against his former team. And Trayvon Diggs kept Justin Jefferson contained all night. The receiver was pretty much a non-factor in this one, and if we're being honest, Dallas has kept him locked up every time he's faced the Cowboys. 8 catches for 140 yards and just 1 touchdown against the Cowboys. So what was the key to success for the Cowboys secondary yesterday?
This is the quietest you've heard this building?
Say it again?
This is the quietest you've heard this building?
Yeah, definitely is. And, I'm happy I'm on the other side. But, it's like I said, it was a great showing from all three phases. Special teams, defense, offense. Dak had those guys going. Tony had a phenomenal game. CD made a great catch. We just on all three levels, all 3 phases, we did our job.
You guys get a sack fumble on the very first time that you're out there 3 plays into the game. How big do you think that was, that first series for you guys to kind of set the tone?
It was huge. It was huge. But you really can't just put everything on that first drive because we had to continue to go out there and do the same thing, drive after drive, series after series. So never got too high when it came down to going out there and getting that script sack on the first drive. We just stayed neutral, stayed right in our lane, and continued to do that for the next 3 quarters.
If defense wins championships, this team certainly has the recipe for success. Back on track for the Dallas defense, but listen, we saved the best for last. The MVP of Sunday's game, Money Maher. The kicker just keeps getting better, but I'll tell you just how good he was in Minnesota next on Cowboys Flashback.
Dallas Cowboys Flashback, presented by Reliant, was brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Reliant, an NRG company. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
Kickers often have the most difficult job in football, but no better guy to answer the call than Brett Maher, who knocked down not 1, but 2 60-yard field goals in the 43 win, thanks to an interesting review from the replay booth. Nonetheless, Maher was cool, calm, and collected, giving Dallas a 23-3 lead at halftime. I spoke with the kicker after the game about his historic performance.
Take 2 from 60 to end the half. Operations clean, kicks away from 60. Thank you very much. Can we count that one?
I am currently joined by kicker Brett Maher. Brett, another phenomenal game from you today. I know we spoke a couple weeks ago just about how well things are going for you. After today's performance, how are you feeling? Just making a big impact, making those big kicks down the stretch.
Yeah, it feels good, I thought that was a great team win for us. And the operation was fantastic. Brian did an awesome job giving me good, clean looks, and, I was able to do my part.
When we spoke on 1st and 10, we talked about what it's like taking the approach to making those big field goals, the 60-yard one in particular today. You mentioned to me it was more of just getting to show off your stuff. How much of today was showing off, especially when you get iced and then knock it down the middle on that second 60-yard attempt?
Yeah, that was a weird one. It made it a lot very satisfying. Not going to lie about that, but that was an interesting situation to not have that come from like a timeout from the other team and have it take so long. So I thought I did a good job of getting myself back to where I needed to be and then hitting the second one.
And you now have the most 50-plus yard field goals made in team history for the Dallas Cowboys. You're up with guys like Dan Bailey. When you hear those numbers, when you hear those accomplishments, how does that reflect on you and how does that make you feel?
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. This is a very storied organization, and I feel very fortunate to be able to be a part of it. So to have something like that pop up is definitely very cool.
Awesome. Brett, thank you so much. Congratulations on your performance today. Congratulations on getting all of those fantastic field goals. We look forward to chatting with you when you get back. Money Maher making it rain in Minnesota. A perfect 4 for 4, including those 3 from 50 yards or further. He's the first kicker in Cowboys history to do so in a single game. Maher has now made 7 field goals from 50-plus this season. It's the most in franchise history. Oh, and by the way, he's now the only kicker in the NFL to be perfect from 60 yards out. In fact, no other kicker has made more than 2 from that distance. He's a special guy, and this was a special win, but it's time to move on. It's a short week for the Cowboys, who now turn their attention to an annual tradition, a Thanksgiving matchup against the New York Giants. Stick with us this week on DallasCowboys.com as we get you ready for kickoff from AT&T Stadium later this week. But that'll do it for Cowboys Flashback. I'm Haley Sutton. Thanks so much for watching. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week.